18 months ago, I thought I was starting my own skincare blog, and it turns out I was actually starting my own nervous system healing journey. Hi, I'm Karen Kelly, skin therapist, wellness enthusiast, and professional overthinker who decided to journal publicly. Every Sunday, I publish a blog where I explore everything from skincare and science to life, mindset, and the messy middle of the in-between in finding your voice. This channel is where all of those thoughts come to life. So grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about how a skincare blog led me to nervous system healing and finding my authentic self. This is my third video, and it ties into the video before about Audacity and Delulu and the energy that I wanted to have for 2026. In this session, we will explore how my professional work in skin health and my personal healing journey became intertwined and what it taught me about the process of choosing myself. So what I hope that you get from this video is just real talk about nervous system healing, the process of letting go of perfectionism and relearning how to make time to find joy and enjoy the everyday stuff. So how does this journey all start? I started the blog about 18 months ago, and the goal of it was to demystify skincare and address gaps in training and treatment for specifically melanin-rich skin, which is things that I was seeing in my practice as a professional skin therapist and master educator. I was hearing this from both consumers and professionals alike. But I quickly, in doing that, realized that I couldn't talk about skin alone without taking the whole body into consideration, which includes the nervous system. The skin is an organ, so whatever is going on the inside is actually going to be reflected on the outside, which is the skin. So somewhere along the middle, I came face to face with the truth that I was on my own nervous system healing journey and the process of finding my voice. And that was probably why I started blogging in the first place. It was like a full circle moment where I was healing while I was writing about healing. The first 6 months were about acknowledging that something needed to change in the way that I was kind of living my life, mentally, emotionally, etc. And then moving into year 2, I actually started the whole process, that messy, really uncomfortable section in the middle, which is completely worth it, by the way, of healing, and by continuing to write as well as share my experiences with that process as well. Along the way, there are about 4 big lessons that I've learned. The first one was learning how to choose myself. This was a big process, but I think the last big example was last Christmas. For the first time in 18 years that I've been here in Canada, I chose to stay in Toronto for the holidays. The only time I did that before was twice before. 1, I had visa issues, and 2, it was the pandemic. So those weren't really choices for me because I had no other option. But this time I stayed because I wanted to. And that was a decision that reflected me finally choosing myself. It was about me doing what I wanted to do at the time, not doing something that I thought somebody wanted me to do or doing it because I thought somebody wanted me to do it. And in doing so, I gave myself the permission to just prioritize my own needs, my own desires, and do something that I thought was impossible for me to do, which is actually choose myself over anything or anyone else. Another lesson that I learned was learning how to release scarcity. Over the holidays, one of the things I did was what I call a great big purge. So I decluttered, I donated things. It wasn't like a simple Sunday tidy up. It was about really confronting these hoarding tendencies that I didn't realize that I had, but there was a revelation that, okay, why are you holding on to all of these things? I realized that it was years and years of me feeling or operating from a position of lack. Every bag of donations I took was me choosing abundance over scarcity and trusting that I have what it takes to figure it out rather than operating from fear and thinking, well, let me just hold on to this just in case. A third lesson was redefining what home means and where that is. So I've been living in Toronto for about 18 years now, but I've never actually called it home. It was always where I work, where I live, but I never really thought of it as where I belong. Something in the last year really changed within me. I started exploring the city. I started to see the beauty of of the city, also appreciating all of the work and resources that I put into becoming a citizen. Last holidays, I even embraced the winter, doing all of the, winter stuff I've never really done before. I'm not completely all the way there yet, but I am definitely closer than I've ever been to calling Canada, specifically Toronto, home. A fourth lesson was just reconnecting with joy, right? This one comes down to the small things, having coffee in the morning while watching the sunrise, getting back into the process of journaling, actually putting physical pen and paper together, making time to read just for pleasure. I used to do a lot of reading for self-help, but actually focusing more on things I enjoy. So maybe a little bit of fiction every now and then. I got back into creating jewelry, letting my hands work while my mind relaxes. Last Christmas, I baked a ham, I made some sorrel, picking plants, taking the time to understand how they work so that I can do my best to get them through the winter, small stuff like that. These are activities that used to bring me joy before, but I somehow just let go of them. What I learned to do is stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect and just start intentionally creating small moments of joy every single day, wherever I am. Now, about the nervous system connection. As a professional skin therapist, I know intellectually that skin reflects what's happening on the inside, but living it is a completely different story. You can have the best skincare products, the best skincare routine in the world, but if you are constantly in a fight or flight mode, it really shows up on your skin. My work with clients and the process of my own healing journey started to inform each other in ways I didn't really expect. I'd be working with somebody and they'd be talking to me about reactive skin or breakouts. And even though in theory I know it's part of the consultation, it will be more organic that I start talking to them about their stress, their diet, what's actually happening in their lives, because it's all connected. The decluttering that I did over the holidays, I definitely felt the shift in my nervous system immediately. Environment truly matters. Key takeaway here, healing is not woo-woo. Whatever works for you works for you. It's the process of moving from survival to thriving, and it shows up anywhere in your skin, how you connect and relate to other people, your energy, your capacity for joy, all of it. I started to ask myself a question: what do I actually want? Where do I want to live? Who do I want to be? I realized I didn't have an answer to all of these questions because I kind of just did what came automatically or what I thought was the responsible thing to do. But blogging helped me articulate what I'd been feeling all these years since moving to Canada, but I really couldn't express. Week after week, showing up, writing became a way of finding my voice, not only about skincare, but about life and about my own journey as well. And staying in Toronto for Christmas was really scary to voice. Not only did I have the opportunity to do something that I wanted to do, I had the most peaceful, joyful Christmas that I've had in a very long time. And I also got the opportunity to spend some time with my son for the holidays. All that to say, living in my truth doesn't mean I'm selfish. It means that I'm being honest about who I am, what I want, what I need, and trusting that the people who truly matter to me and who love me will understand. And that's okay. That really informed my decision to have 2026 as my year of Audacity and Delulu. There's something completely powerful about not taking yourself too seriously while simultaneously going after what you want with complete conviction, right? Not thinking about whether people think that you're nuts, but you're just dreaming bigger than even you have ever felt like you could have done before. The truth is, most people are so wrapped up in living their own lives as they should be, even if they express something like, wait, what you say you're going to do there? Beyond that, they're not really thinking about you. So you might as well just go for what you want and do and live life as you choose. And whether you are addressing skin health, your wellness in general, or you want to work on your nervous system, they're all connected. So healing one means also addressing the others. If you want to dive into more details, this is actually inspired by a blog post that I have on nervous system healing and where I'm at, you can check out the blog that this video was inspired by in the description below. So that's where I'm at now, right? No longer waiting for permission, no longer apologizing and for taking up space, just showing up, doing the work, and understanding that transformation is a continuous process, right? It's about choosing yourself over and over again and releasing the stuff that doesn't serve you, not taking anything personally, and trusting where you are at that point in your life. So question for you, what would it look like for you to choose yourself more this year? What truth are you ready to face? What small moments of joy are you going to create for yourself on a daily basis starting today? I actually love that word joy. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. But also drop the word joy in your answers so I kind of know that you made it all the way through. Really appreciate that. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay radiant and be well.